Today we've got some polling in 6 key 2024 states. Trump is in the lead in all 6, but has anything changed since the previous poll? So let's get into this. This poll is from Redfield and Wilton Strategies. It was conducted a little more than a week ago. The total sample size is 3,713 likely voters, but the sample in the individual states ranges from the low 400s to the high 500s. So not a huge sample size, plus they did 6 states and it's not the usual 6 or 7 battlegrounds. We've got Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Plus this time we've got Florida and we don't have Nevada or Wisconsin. So that's fine, I guess. Florida is not necessarily expected to be closer than Wisconsin or Nevada, but they want to see where things are at in the Sunshine State. One quick thing to point out here is in the first sentence, it says the election is a little more than 8 months away. That's definitely a mistake. It should be less than 5 months. The rest of this seems fine, but that part they might want to fix. So let's go through it, and this is with third parties included. In Arizona, Trump is up by 2, but it's only 40 to 38. 6% are going to Kennedy and 13% don't know. In Florida, Trump's home state, he's up by 6, 43 to 37. 7 for Kennedy, 9 don't know. Georgia, Trump is up 5, 44 to 39. 6 for Kennedy, 9 don't know. Michigan is very close. Trump is up by 1, but both of these guys are only in the mid to high 30s, 37 to 36. 8 for Kennedy and a massive 16% don't know. North Carolina, Trump is up 3, 43 to 47 for Kennedy, 8 don't know. And in Pennsylvania, Trump up 2, 44 to 42. 5 for Kennedy, 6 don't know. The other third-party candidates get between 0 and 1. So on the surface, it's another 6-state sweep for Trump. He's up in all of them. However, one other thing we could do here is compare these results to the same poll they took a month earlier. In that poll, which was obviously pre-conviction, Trump was also ahead in all 6 of these states. But in most of the swing states, not all of them, Trump's support has gone down a little bit. It's most dramatic in Michigan, where it went from 43 to 37. Some of Biden's support has also gone down. But also on the bottom, the percentage that don't know has gone up across most of these states except for Pennsylvania. Arizona was the most dramatic, going from 4 to 13. So maybe that's still some recent fallout from the conviction. It could also just be normal month-to-month variations. It's tough to say, and it could easily change in the following month. But let's see what the rest of this poll shows. It has RFK claiming more support from Biden, 6 to 8% than Trump, which is at 4 to 5. That's voters in the last election in 5 of the 6 states. Here it says more Biden 2020 voters say they will vote for Trump than Trump 2020 voters say they will vote for Biden in both Arizona and Florida. But more Trump 2020 voters say they would vote for Biden in North Carolina than vice versa. That is a 4 to 3% advantage for Biden there. Here we've got the single most important election issue. Now this table cycles through the 6 states, and there's a little bit of variation, but generally the economy is at the top by far. Then they have abortion in second place, while healthcare and immigration swaps between third and fourth. Then a little bit lower, we've got the importance of election issues. At the top, the cost of living is by far the most important. Then after that, we've got cost of healthcare, election integrity, abortion, taxation, and illegal immigration. Then all the way at the bottom, seemingly the least important, are going to be the war in Ukraine, student debt, and woke policies. How about Biden's approval rating in these states? It might not be exactly what you'd expect. He's underwater in all of them, but it's not overly significant. In Arizona and Florida, it's -6. Georgia only -2. Michigan -5, and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, it's -8. So seemingly in a state like Florida, which would vote to the right of the rest of these states, Biden is only in the red by 6. The -2 in Georgia is also quite impressive. Again, it could be this particular sample, it could be normal variation, or it could just be that Biden has gained popularity in the Peach State. Down here, we've got another chart that cycles through the states and asks about Biden's job performance on specific issues. A lot of this is similar to what we would expect, but surprisingly in Florida, Biden has higher approval ratings than these other states on most of these issues. That's what it looks like to me, so either Trump's strength is not as strong as he'd like in his home state, or this is a missampling of the electorate in that state. Here we've got, how has your financial situation changed in the last year? Here the winner says it got worse. It's all around 50%, but again, Florida is the best, down at 45. 29% there say it's improved. That's the most of the other states. Then it asks if you expect your financial situation to improve, worsen, or stay the same in the next year. Here again, Florida stands out. 41% expect it to improve. Only 23% say it's going to get worse. We don't get as much polling out of Florida because it's not expected to be one of the major battlegrounds. But now that we've got it, Florida does seem to stand out as an outlier in this poll compared to the other states. One explanation might be voters in that state expect Trump to get elected, and therefore their financial situation would improve. That's one possibility. It could also just be that voters are much more bullish on the economy in that particular state. How about on immigration? This is going to be Trump's 1 or 2 best issue. They ask, do you believe the U.S. has control over its borders? This is around 30% that say yes. Except for Florida, that's closer to 40. The percent that say no is highest in Arizona and Pennsylvania at 60. So here again, Florida looks like it's not as impacted on the immigration issue, but at the same time, Pennsylvania is the same as the border state of Arizona. Sometimes the data just defies your expectations. We've got more voters in all 6 states trust Trump more than Biden on 6 of the 9 issues. And of course, abortion is going to be Biden's best issue. And here we've got that table that cycles through the states and the different issues. So you can take a look at that if you'd like. But down here they ask, who do you think is more likely to win the 2024 election? And we've got a plurality in all the states, 37 to 44% that think Trump is going to be the winner. So there's some interesting stuff in this poll. There's also some stuff I wouldn't expect. Biden's approvals seem to be better in Florida, but he doesn't seem to be doing better in that state in the head-to-head matchup. There could be any number of reasons. That's why it's best to check out multiple polls or take a look at the aggregate. You can also click this data tables button to get a more detailed breakdown. So this is another post-conviction poll. It hasn't been that long. I still think we've got to give it another couple weeks. Plus we've got debates coming up as well as sentencing. So there's a lot coming up that could dominate the news cycle, and we don't know how it's going to affect the polls. But for everything I've seen, Trump has been leading in all the states. His support might be tempered just a little bit, especially with independents. But overall, Biden hasn't really made much of a move. If anything, there's more voters that are undecided. Now, some voters that might be put off by the conviction, and they could just be done with Trump, and they're not going to vote, or they're going to vote third party. Now, I don't think there's that many of those voters, and every little bit can sway an election. I think it's more likely that after a conviction, it's fair to expect your support maybe to take a small dip. But over the next few weeks and months, voters that might be hesitant about it could easily come back and support Trump by election day. It's a wait-and-see kind of a situation, but the last thing we can do is take a look at the polling accuracy of this pollster, Redfield and Wilton Strategies. For that, we've got to use the Wayback Machine and get on 538. They don't have a ton of polls. They only have 9 of them back in 2020. The rating is a B/C, so that's not really that good. And this table shows the polling bias, and every one of these 9 is actually in favor of the Democrats. Down here, we've got all their polls from 2020. Now, they've got the same states they just took a look at in this current poll, except they don't have Georgia and they do have Wisconsin. Here, they've got a much bigger sample size with likely voters. Their methodology was online, and they all overestimated Biden and underestimated Trump, some of them by significant margins of even double digits. Michigan and Wisconsin were the worst states, but even in Florida, they had Biden winning by 4. Trump won that by about 3.5. Now, since then, the polling industry has taken a hit. Now, this particular pollster might have made the appropriate adjustments, and they could be spot on. But aside from that, there's no way around it. These polls are absolutely terrible. The closest one was in North Carolina, but even that had the wrong result. Sometimes when you completely wipe out, that can be a good thing. You might realize a bunch of your mistakes will come out much better the next time. And we just took a look at that poll, and it was kind of the opposite. There, Trump was ahead in all those states. So who knows what's really going on? The best thing, again, is to take a look at multiple polls and the aggregates. So that's going to be it for this battleground polling. Let me know in the comments, what's your reaction to this poll? Do you think the sample size is too low? Are you surprised to see Florida have better metrics for Biden than the other states? What do you make of Trump leading in all 6, but the support being reduced from the previous poll? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.